Look guys, I promise I'm not a one trick. I know I just made a Deputy Vex build and now we're moving on to a Deputy Rafa build, but this is one that I made before the launch of the game that all of you seem to enjoy. It is my one-shot infinite kills Rafa. The whole point of this build is to basically just take a gun, shoot the first shot, reload, and then just kill a lot of things on the map without really having to do much. This build was initially designed if there was an infinity pistol in the game, and as of right now, I don't think there is. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but we do have other weapons that really make this build very, very strong and a ton of fun to play. So with that being said, I have changed it up slightly to fit this new playstyle, but it still has the exact same gameplay loop that I always wanted to begin with. This build is going to allow you to basically one-shot every single ad, do very, very good boss damage, and also have a permanent action skill up all the time if that's something you would like as well. This build has a lot going into it, and I'll explain everything in this video. So if y'all do enjoy and learn anything new, consider doing all the normal YouTube stuff. All the support really does go a long way, and I truly appreciate it. I will also have a written guide on this build if you would like to follow that along, or just go look at that. All of that will be linked down below as well. But without further ado, let's jump into some of the most fun I've had on Rafa so far. All right, starting off, probably comes to no shocker, especially if you've seen the gameplay, we're gonna be running the Hot Slugger. This is a legendary Jacob shotgun that stacks up damage on every single kill, and it just does a ton of damage. I do want to note that this gun actually does do splash damage, which we'll be playing into that here in our skills, some of our gear, but just know this shotgun is very, very strong. It's one of the best legendaries in the game right now, and that's why we're making a whole build around it. It does have one shot in it, and that's going to play very well into our skills. Now for the rest of our gear, the stuff that is important is going to be something like our Dancer class mods. This is actually going to double our overdrive bonuses when we are in overdrive, but it actually makes it so our overdrive ends when our action skill ends. So this is very good because this is going to be very, very strong for getting us additional benefits while we have our action skill up. Note that it does have the downside that you will lose your overdrive when your action skill ends, but we do have ways to play into that. Namely, that is going to be our rep kit, and we can have the accelerator mod on it. So on use, it's going to grant us 100% of action skill cooldown rate for 8 seconds. This paired with some other things is pretty much going to allow you to just have infinite action skill up at all times, which in return means double overdrive bonuses at all times, which is very, very good. For the shield, I like to run the fireworks just because I am running a Hot Slugger as, you know, just kind of my one shot, one kill weapon. The ricochet will kill enemies. The fireworks will now also kill enemies. It's just really good for ad clear pairing these two together. And then for the enhancement, I don't have a Jacobs one, but if you can get a Jacobs one, that's definitely what you want to do. Get the one that can get an additional ricochet. It's probably going to be your best bet, but if you don't have one, look out for stats like gun splash damage, gun critical hit damage, gun damage, anything to do with the shotgun. As you see, I'm basically just looking for stats on mine right now because I don't have a good Jacobs one. And then for the ordnance, I just have a random weapon on here. I really rarely ever use it. If you can get a Penetrator throw knife, that is for sure going to be best in slot, but I kind of want to show off in the gameplay that you don't need to run that, and this build is still going to be very, very strong. Now for enhancements, as you see here, I do have 3 in Deadeye, which is basically going to give me more gun accuracy or gun critical hit damage, and it gives me stacking critical hit damage when I hit a crit. So this is going to be very, very strong for your Hot Slugger. And then I just put 2 in Trick Shot, so I get even more gun critical hit damage and some reload speed, which is nice because again, you only have 1 shot in the Hot Slugger, so you could just keep getting this insane crit damage. Very, very good reload speed. And that is pretty much the main focus of the gear. It's just keep your action skill up a lot, get your double overdrive bonuses, have insane damage with the Hot Slugger, have some extra ad clear with the fireworks, and then again, if you can get a Penetrator knife or a better enhancement here, it's going to take this build to the next level. Now jumping into the skills, this is going to be a Peacebreaker cannon build, but for our augment, we are going to be taking Instato. So this basically makes it so when you get a kill, it's going to extend our duration of our action skill. This is great. Your Peacebreaker cannons also get critical hit damage, which is also pretty good, but the main benefit is that just getting a kill, you're going to constantly extend your duration. You rarely ever even use the targeting ability on this. You kind of just want it for the passive of getting your duration up. So again, you can keep all these overdrive bonuses up. Now for the capstone, I like volatile hollow points. This makes it so your Peacebreakers shoot rockets against splash damage. We're going to have a bunch of splash damage bonuses with this setup, and also the rockets just do good damage. But now jumping into the skills, we are just going to be taking 5 points in CTR, so we get 25% more gun damage. Obviously that's pretty good. Next up is just going to be 5 points in Verga, so whenever Rafa critically hits an enemy, axial duration is restored. So pair that with our augment, we can pretty much keep our Peacebreaker cannons up at all times, and if they ever do go down, we will have a way to get it back very quickly. Next up is just going to be Resiliencia. Again, I'm sorry if I pronounce all these skills wrong, but we have an overdrive skill, so Rafa gains increased damage reduction while overdrive is active. So this is 29.41%, but again, with our class mod, it's going to be double, so this is going to make you very tanky. And then we're going to be taking Barrage, so another overdrive skill, so we gain bonus splash damage while overdrive is active. Again, this is going to be double because of our class mod, and on top of that, the splash damage will actually benefit to something like the Hot Slugger. This is very, very good. Again, if you want to take something like a Sprite Launcher, that will also benefit that, but the Hot Slugger will also get these splash damage benefits. And then we're also going to be taking a Temerario, so this is an overdrive skill, so we can increase gun damage and decrease gun handling the longer we're basically in overdrive. And this is 7% increased gun damage per stack. We can double it with our class mod, so we're going to have crazy gun damage bonuses, which again is going to play back into the Hot Slugger. And then if that was enough, we also are going to take Insultado, so this is a kill skill, so this will double all overdrive bonuses. So we're already doubling them with the class mod, now we're also going to be doubling them with this skill right here. So again, more damage reduction, more splash damage, even more gun damage, and that is just with this tree. Now, the final skill in this tree is actually going to be what is the main focus, that is Vitriol. So the first shot fired from Rafa's fully loaded magazine deals bonus corrosive damage. This is 55% bonus corrosive damage. Again, you're always going to be firing the first shot with Hot Slugger, so you're constantly getting this bonus damage all the time. You can then pair this with our other skill in our next skill tree, and that is going to be First Impression. So the first shot fired from a fully loaded magazine gains increased damage. This is 50%. So both of these are actually going to stack on top of each other. And once again, since the Hot Slugger, you constantly have to reload every time you shoot one shot, you're going to be getting just crazy amounts of damage increases just with these two skills alone. Again, these are not overdrive based skills, so we're not even taking account of all the bonuses you'll get with those. This is purely just these two skills, and they already do crazy damage. Once we start playing into overdrive more, which again we will have permanently with this build, it gets even crazier. Now, to wrap the skill tree up, I am also just taking 5 points in rinse, so we get 20% more reload speed. This is just nice to have since you're going to be reloading quite a lot. And then since we are reloading a lot, we can take Preparado, so whenever we reload our current gun, we're actually going to get action skill quarter rate. This can stack up to 3 times since we're going to be constantly shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload. This will be at max stacks, which again in return means we can spam our Peacebreaker cannons more, which we want to do to keep the overdrive bonuses up. And then the final skill in this tree is just Jackie's, so whenever Rafa damages enemies with a skill, aka your Peacebreaker cannons, we gain a stack of Jackie, which in return is going to grant us even more overdrive bonuses. And then when overdrive ends, we lose them all, but that's fine because our class mod, we already lose the overdrive anyway, so that doesn't really matter too much. But again, just more overdrive bonuses. And once again, just kind of as a recap, I know we talked about the First Impression and the Vitriol skill a lot, but with overdrive, you're getting 10% more damage, 25% more movement speed. This is just permanent when you have your action skill up, which is great, but again, it will go away once it ends. But we're also getting damage reduction when it's active, we're getting splash damage when it's active, we're getting gun damage when it's active, we're doubling the bonuses, and then on top of that, we also are going to be getting even more overdrive bonuses, which just means more of the stuff that we've already said, and that again is not even playing into the First Impressions and Vitriol synergy here to grant the Hot Slugger even more damage. So all that combined together, infinite action skill with all the ways to keep it up, landing crits, getting kills with instanto right here. So you basically just become this crazy damage dealer, and you can just shoot rockets all the time everywhere because of your Peacebreaker cannons as well. But now let's actually take a look at some specializations, because these actually do play a pretty good role in some things with this setup. Daredevil honestly probably is going to be your best bet to try to get to first, because with caffeine, this skill right here, so whenever we activate a rep kit, it will actually grant us 25% of our action skill back. This is very good, because again, if you are pairing this with a rep kit that has accelerator on it, you can basically pop this thing and you are basically 5 or 6 seconds away back to your Peacebreaker cannon. So if they ever do run out, just pop one rep kit and you pretty much already have them back. But the cool benefit is that if you do have a rep kit with 2 charges like this one, you can actually pop it twice back to back. You're only going to get 1 instance of accelerator, but with specializations here, you actually will get 2 instances of now with caffeine, and you pretty much just guarantee your action skill back without really having to think. So there is not a single time with this build you should not have your action skill up because of all the stuff we have built into it to gain it back. And again, obviously you're going to get a ton of bonuses while your action skill is active. Now, next up is I'm a gun. So your action skill damage can now benefit from gun damage increases. Obviously, we're going to have crazy gun damage increases with some of our skills like Temerario right here. So now we can just get even more action skill damage. And again, they're going to kind of go in tandem here. So this is just great to have. It is only 50%, but obviously since you're stacking up so much as it is, it's honestly still going to be a pretty good amount. And then for the rest of the skills, honestly, nothing here matters too much. I do just have Bullet Train equipped since you can move fast, obviously with Overdrive, but kind of whatever. And then I have one shot, one kill. Now I do want to point out that this actually can proc off of anything. So say you do get a really high damage kill with Hot Slugger, you get the excess damage, your Peacemaker cannons can actually proc this. So that means you're not going to constantly be getting these crazy excess damages with Hot Slugger over and over. But I mean, every once in a while, I mean, it does make your Peacemaker cannons do more, which I guess is kind of nice, but this isn't like the end all be all skill to try to go for. If I had, again, to go for anything to start off, it is definitely now with Caffeine. It is very, very good. And then I Am a Gun is also a nice benefit again, because you will have your axe skill up all the time. And you also have crazy gun damage bonuses. But that is honestly it for the build. The only thing that's super important is to have a Hot Slugger, which if you don't know, that is going to come from this boss right here in this bunker. It is going to be from the Callous Harbinger of Annihilating Death if you need to farm for it. And then for the Dancer class mod, which is the next most important thing, it is going to come from Idolator Soul, which is actually down here. If I can find it, it's going to be in the fortress right here. You can go farm, Soul here to get your class mod. And then for everything else, I mean, Fireworks isn't super necessary, but this is going to drop from Splash Zone if you don't know where Splash Zone is at, which I'm pretty sure most of you probably do at this point, but you can farm Splash Zone for this. And then for the rep kit, I mean, this is just going to be a random drop. Just, it doesn't even have to be a double charge. Just make sure you get one with Accelerator. And again, I still kind of need a better enhancement here. If you can get a Penetrator knife, it'll make it even better. So there's still improvements I can make, but again, just the main thing is just the Hot Slugger, the Dancer, and if you can't get an Accelerator rep kit, it could be a green one, it could be literally anything. Just pairing that with the Specialization over here, you can spam your axe skill literally all the time, which is necessary for this setup. And now for the final part on Rafa, this is my customization. If you were curious, I'm going to be running the Down and Outlaw head here. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't know where I got most of these from. I'm pretty sure this just comes from probably using a lot of Jacob's weapons, because that's pretty much all I've used ever since the game came out. But I am going to be running the Runner body right here. And then for the style, I'm going to be running Fault of Law, which again, I'm pretty sure is just using Jacob's stuff. I wish I had a better answer for you guys on that, but I honestly don't know. But for the colors, I have the Traffic Cone primary, I have the Suit Yourself secondary, and then for the tertiary, I'm just using the default color of what was already on there. So if you want to make your Rafa look like this, definitely be sure to copy it down. Anyways, though, that is going to do it all for this one-shot infinite kills Rafa build. Again, this was originally built around if the Infinity Pistol was in the game, but again, right now I don't really think it is, or I haven't found it yet. But essentially, you could just keep obviously shooting that first shot, granting the bonuses. But in all honesty, with the Hot Slugger being as good as it is, I think this may be better than if we had something like Infinity. But I'm still crossing my fingers that down the line we'll have something similar to that. But as of now, the Hot Slugger with all these bonuses, all these overdrive bonuses, you can do some crazy damage. And again, it makes mobbing extremely easy. Bossing is also very easy. And everything you've seen in the gameplay is still not even the perfected setup that you can get. This build definitely has a lot of room for improvement, but you can already see the potential that it does have. But I think that is going to do it all for me. I wish you all the best of luck with putting this build together for yourself. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.